everybody, and welcome back once again to another battle report from War Dog Gaming Battle Reports. I bid you welcome. Okay then guys, finally we are here. Match day. Hell yeah! So game 1 of the BMSK League 2020. BMSK is the local club that I am a part of here in the southern part of Stockholm, Sweden. And if you don't know what I'm talking about here about the league, then I have done an introduction video, the previous video that I did, and I suggest you go back and check it out first before you start venturing into these battle reports. In that video I tell all about the rules and all that. Okay guys, let's jump into this battle report, but first let's see who our opponent is this time. The introduction song is called Before I Forget with Slipknot, but you guys probably already knew that, didn't you? Alrighty then, let's have a look at this, and this time our opponent is Mr.Newmans with his snow-themed ogre army. Alright, let's see what he brought with him this time. For starters, he has a Khan, is the BSB with heavy armor, Iron Fist, Ogre, Crossbow, Rotten Jaw, Aether Icon, Alchemist Alloy, Heart Ripper and Rampage's Chain. The whole thought process behind him is that he has Rotten Jaw to make sure that his Kin Eaters gets to ambush whenever he wants to, so he gets to re-roll the ambushing attempt, which is pretty nasty. Then he has a Mammoth Hunter with a hunting spear. Yeah, he's kitted like they usually are nowadays, with a 2+, 4+, and that strength 7 spear that he shucks at you and does D3 wounds to Gigantics, which can be pretty annoying. Then he has a Shaman with the Thaumaturgy, level 4, with 3 in channel and 2 in magic resistance. So it's all about throwing spells at you as much as possible, doing as much damage as he can. Then he has 6 Bruisers in core with Stanabear, 10 Tribesmen with full command and Iron Fist, then 2 Kin Eaters, 3 Cats as Chaff and Redirectors, then 5 Bombardiers with a Musician to be as a bunker for Shaman, and then running it off with 2 Rocks. Alright guys, what do I think about the list? Well, it's a little bit different than he usually plays. He usually plays a big Gutstar with Bruisers in core, and then he usually has a Cannon or Giants and stuff like that. But otherwise it's pretty similar to what he usually plays. But I really hate the Mammoth Hunter. Not that I dislike the kit that he has done here. He has done a great job with that. It's just that I hate to face it because he's so fucking annoying. Otherwise it's an interesting list. I don't know, I will probably make a couple of changes here though. I will probably take out Tribesmen and have Bruisers instead, and then have a little Tribesman Dart instead as just Chaff and Redirector or something. Maybe only have 2 Cats instead of 3. I think the 3 Cats is just too much. And try, if possible, try to fit in a Giant or a Cannon or something. But otherwise I really like the list. It's gonna be interesting to see the combination of Rotten Jaw and 2 Kin Eaters. I absolutely love Kin Eaters. I hate to face them though, but I love to have them in the list. Okay guys, let's move on and let's see what myself brought with me this time. The introduction song is called Resentment with A Day to Remember. Yeah, they are one of my favorite bands, so I just couldn't resist. Guys, let's have a look at this. We have brought up Torsten and the Hungry One once again. Let's look at his list. Well, my list. I am not schizophrenic, I promise. Alright, so let's have a look at this. We'll start with a BSB. He's just standing in the background with a lot of magic resistance and a great weapon that he can chuck at his opponent. Then we have Forsten, the Hungry One. He's of course the armor general. He has the second awakening, which does that I can re-roll all my damage spells, well, all my magic missiles and such. Not the combat though. Then we have the fat one, the Plague Patriarch on his pendulum with 2+4+, and he's just riding around with a flail, and he also gives a channel, and he has 2 spells in occultist which can be pretty handy at occasions. Then in core we have some footpads, which I call Night Runners though, with paired weapons, and they are just there for scoring purposes and as redirectors and chaff at occasions as well. Then we have some Plague Monks with full command and Banner of the Endless Swarm nowadays. Yeah, I changed Rending Banner and took in Banner of the Endless Swarm. I think those 10 extra attacks that they will probably provide will be better than have Rending Banner on them. Anyway, then we have 33 Vermigard, or as I call them, Storm Vermin, with full command and Rending Banner. So they are my AP support, you can call it. They are the ones that will cut through armor. Then we have 9 Gut Runners with the Scout, Ambush and Throwing Weapons. 13 Plague Disciples, or Plagues and Spears as I call them. They are there to flank, charge, redirect, chaff. They have plenty of purposes. But also they are an elite combat unit that can do some massive damage whenever necessary. Then we have some Ysaves to hunt down bigger targets as rocks in this instance. Then a Plague Catapult if well, we will go up against something with heavy armor such as knights or heavy combat infantry blocks and such. Then 2 weapon teams, Napta launches, which will be pretty handy in this matchup, I gotta say. I was debating if I wanted to have Rattling guns or Napta launches, but I think Napta launches are more worth their point now, since I really like the thing where they ignore hard target and cover and all that, which is the problem with Rattling guns, because Rattling guns usually just miss with whatever you do, and if you roll good on them they usually blow up instead. So I think I prefer Napta launches. Sure, they have some terrible matchups though, but yeah, in this occasion they have a pretty awesome matchup instead. Alright, and then we're running it off with Roger, the famous retarded rat. Yeah, that is the list. So this is what I'm trying to play as Twin Towers nowadays. I really think I miss out on the Doomwheels though. You know that I absolutely hate those units, because they usually don't do crap when I'm playing them. And now, since they are so goddamn expensive, they usually don't see any room in my lists, because there are plenty of other things that you can fill in for that point, I think. But in this instance, Doomwheels will have been great, but I won't optimize against my opponent that I have already promised. So no Doomwheels this time, even though I certainly would love to have them in this matchup though. Anyway guys, let's look at the bookmaking before this game. Since this is a league game, we're gonna see who's the favorite before venturing into this match. So let's head over and see what the bookmakers had to say about this game. We have it, bada bing bada boom, Thorsten and Friends versus Rat Face Killer, aka Grunak, aka Mr.Newman. That's the matchup. Alright, the betting odds are not so favorable for the Ogres, if you want to say it so. Or maybe throw in a little dollar or so on the Ogres and you might go big. Who knows, because here, let's look at this. Here we have the previous match history, and yeah, it doesn't look well for the Ogres, that's for sure. Well, for Mr. Newman in this instance. So, yeah, it will be interesting, but still, okay, so why are the odds in favor of Thorsten and Friends? Probably because of all the D3 wounds. I have 2 Napta launches that will probably take care of his Kin Eaters, take care of the rest of the Ogres as well. Thorsten usually kills off rocks pretty easily, and then I have Fat and Friends, the Plague Patriarch and his Plague Brothers, that are usually a big hassle for the Ogres to handle. But who knows, you can't go too confident into this match, you can never do that. Mr. Newman is a pretty good player also. So let's jump into this battle report and see how it went. So here we have the layout of the table, and for starters we are playing Counter Thrust as deployment type, and as secondary objective we are playing Capture the Flags, so it's all about claiming your opponent's scoring units by destroying them, of course. Alright, so for this game we recorded the deployment, so let's look at the deployment first. Okay, so here we have 6 bruisers, full command. Yeah, just banner. Some magical banner here? No, okay. A mammoth hunter with a kitty, then a rock, then some bombardiers with a wizard, and then we have tribesmen with Iron Fist, full command. BSB Swiss Trade banner may have? Rending banner, okay. Then another rock, another kitty, and then another kitty. And that is his deployment. So with that said, let's move over to the rat deployment and see how myself deployed in this game. Then off to the lovely rats. Here we have some night runners, sails, Fat and Friends, little Netta thrower, then Torsten and his bodyguards, then Roger, some gut runners, Flex and Severes, catapult, some more sails, another Netta thrower. And that is the rat deployment. Let's move over to our spell selection. And in this game I didn't take a picture of our spells, but I can use an old picture for my own spells. So let's move over to that. Here we have it. For Torsten, he has Awaken the Rat, Hand of Heaven, Smite the Unbeliever, and Trial of Fate. And then the fat one has Rot Within, and also, since he's a level 2 mage in this game, he has the Stinky Breath, the Toxic Breath weapon. And that are my spells. Okay, and the whole thought process behind this, why I don't take comment for example, is that Trial of Fate is a great spell to plinking wounds on his rocks. Hand of Heavens are as well. And then Awaken the Rat is great to kill basically everything in Ogres. And also what I need to clear out first are his damn annoying cats. And Awaken the Rat, Hand of Heaven are both great spells for that. The Stinky Breath is because I need some combat buffs, because this game will probably go pretty fast into combat since it's against Ogres. They usually like to push a lot. So then you need to have some magic support in the combat phase as well. So Stinky Breath is both good as a ranged weapon and as a melee weapon as well. That's it. Alright, I don't have a picture for the Ogre spells unfortunately, but I can tell you guys, we can just stick on this picture. So he has Shilur Umi lowering Smite the Unbeliever as well, Hand of Heaven, and he's taking the combat though. And that is his 4 spells. Alright, let's move over to the battle report. Alright, so we had a roll-off. He won, I won the roll-off on which side I want to choose, so I took this side because, well, I wanted to claim the hills. That was the only advantage with having this side, I guess. And then he told me that he wanted to drop down to go first. So we had a bunch of drops before he dropped everything. He dropped down his 3 cats, like you see it here, and then he dropped the rest here on his left corner. I went on and dropped so the night runners behind the hill here, because I want to cover them as much as I can from getting killed early, because it's flags. After that I dropped a napta launcher down here, and then I dropped, I think it was a sail unit here. That was my drops. That's it, and then he dropped the rest like you guys see it, and I counted that by dropping like this. And then I scouted my gut runners here close to his, and vanguarded them 12 inch close to his cats, but staying 20 inches away from the rock so he doesn't terror check them. That's the whole thought process behind this. Alright, so let's move over to Ogres, turn 1. So the first thing that he did, in the deployment actually, he vanguarded his mammoth hunter and his kitty. After that he just re-angled his battle lines to look like this. He wanna use the crossbows on his ogres and he's just moving up slightly, waiting for me to arrive. He wanna try to combat me a couple of times before he goes into combat. That's the whole thought process here. And also he's throwing up his mammoth hunter and his kitty down here. And I forgot to say it, but as far as I remember, he had the breath weapon from the Thaumaturgy in the spell selection. So I think he didn't have Shilumumi then. It was probably that spell he didn't take. Alright, and then it looks like this. So this is after movement, turn 1, then we go into his magic phase. and I have to let go of his damn nasty breath weapon, because then he also tries to throw it down a comet. I can't let him do that, so I have to throw all my dice to dispel the comet. And then he destroys my entire Night Runner unit with his breath weapon, and also I think 2 of them actually survives the breath weapon, and he shoots them down with the remaining bombardiers here. So pretty pretty strong magic phase and pretty strong shooting phase. So now he's in the lead on the objective, which isn't good at all. Then I have to catch up. Alright, but that's Ogres turn 1 of the Rats turn 1. Here we have movement for Rats turn 1, and basically what we do is that we push up full forward. We take Roger, throws him up a couple of inches, he rolls a 5, so he doesn't come further than this. Throws up the gut runners here, puts them here in the middle, and then angles them so they look at the cat. We need to just plink it off, because otherwise it would be a pretty annoying piece to handle later. Otherwise we just stay 20 inches away from the rock. Might be a couple of more inches than that, and then I take fatter friends and throws them up here towards the pillar. The whole thing, the whole thought process here is that I want to swing them around, juke him, pretend that I'm going in the right direction, but then swing around here in the left direction instead. And also by doing this, I also threaten him on both sides of the pillar here, so he doesn't know what I'm going to do. That's the whole thought process here, at least. Alright, and then after this we go into the magic phase, and there's a very blurry picture that doesn't say much at all, but in the magic phase we pretty much fail with everything. The only thing that we do basically is that we're plinking 1 wound on the rock. We try on Hand of Heaven, fail to cast it. We try a rat spell, awaken the rat on his kitty here, because we really need to kill it, otherwise it will be annoying as hell. He dispels that, and then I do 1 wound, I think it was with Trial of Fate. That's basically it. So not much at all happens in the magic phase. In the shooting phase, these guys kills the cat, that's it. These guys have marched, these guys don't, well, my knuckle archers doesn't have range to anything. The catapults shoots, hits full with a full hit on the ogres, but only does 1 wound on 12 hits. Pretty pathetic roll, I gotta say. And then these little buggers shoots at the rock over here, and there I think I did 1 or 2 wounds at him. So the only thing that is going my way here, I guess, is that the Ysaias here actually did a couple of wounds to that rock. So pretty weak, well, not pretty, a very weak start for the Rats, that I gotta say. Alright, so over to the Ogres turn 2. To apologize first, guys, because I'm gonna lack a couple of pictures here in this turn, and the reason is that I had a very lack of sleep. I had only like 3 hours of sleep before this game, so I was a bit of exhausted, and also it was a very strategic and tense game, so I focused more on the game than taking pictures. Sorry, you guys. But anyway, what happens here basically in the Ogre's turn 2 is that he charges with the rock into my gut runners, forcing them to flee, and then flees and ends up over here. I pass all my panic checks though, and then he doesn't do much else in the movement besides just re-angling his stuff here. Then he takes his kitty that he has over here, puts him in 12 inches in front of my playing monk unit just to frenzy check them, and then he takes his mammoth hunter and forces him behind my lines, just to go up and start to harass my gun line. That's it. After that we go into his magic phase, and he basically tries to lower the toughness on my playing monks, which I dispel. After that he tries a Hand of Heaven somewhere. I think he failed that, but he gets down, or I might have dispelled that, either one of them. But he then gets off a comet and puts it straight in front of my 2 blocks, so fucking annoying. After that he opens up with all his gun line into my plague monks and kill a bunch of plague monks. That's basically it. That's all that happens in Ogre's turn 2 of the Rats turn 2. So in Rats turn 2, the first thing that we do is that we take a frenzy check on fatter friends, which you can see here, and I fail the first attempt, and then we re-roll it and fail the second attempt. Not only that, we also roll a 6 on the charge distance, and that forces my unit to do a 6-inch wheel towards the cat that flees here, and I have nothing else to charge into because I don't see anything else. So I am forced to stay here. That's it. which is really, really annoying.
Yeah.
Right after that, we re-angle our line, so we take Torsten and throws him over here to, well, to threaten his Mammoth Hunter. And then we take Roger, throws him up towards the Rock. I'm assuming that the Rock will be dead after this turn, because I will shoot him with all my sails, all my spells from Torsten again. He had taken, I think it was 1 or 2 wounds the previous turn as well, so I'm hoping that at least he will die this turn. Otherwise, he might, if not, he will be so wounded that probably he will just die from Roger as well. I don't think he can handle Roger. Roger strikes before Rock also. So yeah, sure, I will take a couple of impact hits, but then I will kill him in return. After that, he has also ambushed 2 Kin Eaters, which we can barely see here with this blurry picture, but one of them is here and the other one is over here. So I have to redirect my Napta throwers towards these Kin Eaters so I can shoot them off the board. That's it. Then we go into the magic phase and we absolutely fail again. So the only spell that we get off is lowering toughness on the Rock here. So no damage, nowhere, we just fail all the spells. So it's starting to get fucking annoying about this.
Sam. Yeah. Yeah, mate, no, I'll bring it down in a sec, right?
So, well, moving on. Anyway, we go into the shooting phase, and all my says opens up on the Rock, do 2 wounds to him, so at least something is going my way. Then I take in my Napta throwers, 2 of them shoots at this Kin Eater. One of them fails miserably and doesn't hit with anything, and then the other one hits and does 3 wounds to the Kin Eater, so it's down to 1 wound left. So at least that's going a bit for me as well. It could have been even worse, to be honest. After that, we don't have any more combat or anything. Then we go over to Ogres, turn 3. Anyway, moving on, Ogres turn 3, and this is basically what it does. Frenzy checks the Rock, fails the frenzy check, and then he charges my Storm Vermin, I think it is, in the rear of them, needing to double 6 on 3 dice. Then he's charging the Mammoth Hunter into my Gisales, and then he does a fucking sneaky thing. I barely saw this, but he takes his Tribesman Death Star here and charges the flank of my Plague Monk unit. And he barely could see it from this angle. I don't know how he was able to do this, but anyway, he saw the flank of my Plague Monk unit. And he's needing a 9 or a 10, I think it was, on 2 dice. And then he's taking his Rock and also his Bruiser Dart as well, and charges the front of my Plague Monk unit. I think the Rock needed an 8 or so. Can't remember exactly what it was, but it wasn't as far as the 2 of the others anyway. Okay, and then he does all the charges, and then it looks like this. Smack! Ooh, ouch! Alright, so for starters, he of course fails the Rock. Yeah, then he accomplished the Mammoth Hunter though. But then he does this cock meat sandwich here in the middle, and this is gonna hurt.
Hi.
I'm Big Bob.
Yes, you are.
You boys ready for your cock meat sandwich?
After that, he realigns the rest of his stuff. Oh yeah, also of course, he charges the Kin Eater here into my Plagues and Spears, charges the other Kin Eater into the flank of my Catapult. That's basically it. Then we go into his magic phase, and now he has a terrible magic phase. The only thing though that happens is basically that the combat comes down and this is what happens. He kills a couple of rats, not much at all, 3 rats, and then he kills this. So he kills the cat, kills an ogre, think it damaged this, no, it doesn't hit this unit, and then kills a couple of rats here as well. So well, that was a pretty weak combat, I gotta say. After that, he also don't get off any more magic into this combat. He tries to lower the strength or toughness on my unit, fails to do so. And then that's basically it. After that, we go into shooting phase. He opens up with the bombardiers here into Roger, and fails to wound him, so he has full wounds now. And well, that's it basically. After that, we go into the combat phase. And I guess I have to go back here because otherwise I would spoil the entire combat. So, ooh, can you feel the tense? What happens here? Okay guys, I know that I have done a majorly big mistake here with Torsten. Look at this. What he basically can do now is 20-0 the poor rats. What he will do is go in, smash this unit and then overrun into Torsten's flank, and then it is game over. Also he has lined up that this Mammoth Hunter can go into the flank here, overrun into Torsten and friends. And yeah, that would mean just good game. But anyway, we go in here. He starts off with this combat. He goes in and just dies from the vapor of the plague sensibiers. Then he goes into the plague the plague catapult over here, kills it, and then overruns into nothing. Then we go into the Mammoth Hunter fight here, and as no surprise, he just goes in and smashes the DGSAs, overruns, but fails to catch Torsten, I think it was. I'm just gonna double check here. Alright, I have to take that back. He actually does the overrun. I think he needed an 8 or so, but he has Swiss straight, doesn't he? The Mammoth Hunter. Anyway, he gets into Torsten. Then we go into this combat, and okay, I was fucking stressed out of this. I didn't like this at all. So we go in anyway. He goes in with all his impact hits, kills a couple of rats. I don't think it kills so many. Anyway, a couple of rats anyway. Then I swing before him towards his bruisers, and I swing at the same time into the flank here. Anyway, I starts off with the Rat King. I do 3 wounds with the Rat King and his flail onto the bruisers, so I kill a bruiser there. Then he goes in with his characters, I think he killed a couple of rats here. He rolls pretty well on his BSB, that as far as I can remember. Anyway, then I go before him with all the plague monks into the bruisers, kills the entire unit before they even get to swing. I do 18 wounds exactly to this unit. I think I even did more than that anyway. And then also into this combat I challenged with my champion. He accepted with his bruiser champion here, or whatever it is. And I did actually 1 wound to his champion in that combat, and he killed me on the stomps, but he only got 1 out of that combat anyway. He failed to do overkill on my champion. And then he goes in with his unit here. I also kill an entire ogre with my plague bombs here from the flank here. Then he goes back and kills, I think entirely he killed 14 or 16 rats or something like that, and I erased this unit, did 4 wounds to this unit, but he has 1 rank, 2 flags, big anyway, we tie this combat, believe it or not. This is a tie. So after this it's gonna look like this. So since it's a tie, and he's the active player, he's the one that chooses who redirects first or realigns first. He wanna realign first, and then I realign after, and just looks at him. So now this will mean probably that this Tribesman Gutstar is dead. Yeah, he won't be able to handle this, especially now since he has no buffs or hexes on top of this combat, and it will go into my magic phase. So that will mean a dead Tribesman unit. Anyway, off to rats, turn 3. So with that fluff combat from the ogres, I think that I am in a massive lead right now. I feel very comfortable with this game. So what I do basically is that I take Roger and charges the front of his rock here. Realigns my plague monks, as I said, and then yeah, I'm staying put here with Torsten. I can't do much since he has charged me into combat. I takes my plague sensibiers here and throws them over here on the flank to make sure that I can counter charge the Mammoth Hunter the next turn, setting him up for the next turn at least. And then I have 1 Napta thrower here, another Napta thrower here somewhere. I can't remember exactly where it is. I think it is behind the storm vermin here. Anyway, both of them are lock and load, ready to shoot at the kin eater that has arrived here. That's basically it. After that we go into the shooting phase, the magic phase, and I think we hexed the Tribesman unit here. He dispelled that, and then I throw all my spells at rock here. I'm gonna see what happens basically. It looks like another disaster magic phase. What the hell, I have paid so much fucking points for this magic, and I do absolutely jack shit once again. I do all my spells onto this rock and fail to do any wounds to him. I think it's down to 3 wounds left now. And that's basically because I had done 2 wounds in the first turn with these sails, and then I did only 1 wound in the magic phase here. That's all the spells that I get off in this turn. Pathetic. Anyway, then we go into the shooting phase, and these essays opens up on this rock. No, sorry, they shoot at the bombardiers here actually. Again, those maybe a wound or so. But the big thing though is that my gut runners that rallied in the previous turn shoots at the Keen Eater, and both my Naptor throwers shoots at the Keen Eater and finish it off with all this. So at least that's going my way. And yeah, well, this combat is also going my way though. But after this, well, okay. Well, this is what happens. We go in here, I challenge with a champion, he destroys the champion, and then I stick with my unit. After that we go into, I think it was this combat here with the tribesman. I of course win this combat, I destroy the unit, he flees with a couple of ogres, gonna see how many he has left. He has 4 ogres left and BSB after this combat. Anyway, he flees, he runs like 11 and I fail to catch him, and now look at this. Alright, this should be a done deal in my opinion. I go in with Roger, he has 3 wounds left to the rock. I hit him on 3, wounds him on 4s. In average, if you look at this mathematically, I should do 4 wounds to him statistically. And I go in and do 0 wounds. 0 fucking wounds. Okay, then he goes back, swings with all his attacks, does like 3 battle focus, gets in 8 hits or so, does, can't remember exactly, but what he does is 3 wounds to Roger, and then I have to take a break check because I failed this combat. I have a stubborn break check on 8, fail to roll it, and then he overruns, catches Roger because I only rolled 7 on 3 dice and he rolls 8 on Swiss stride. So what the hell? So then it looks like this. What the actual fuck? For real? Okay, I don't think he has failed worse than this ever. So yeah, I think he's going back to the shelf after this, because now look at this. I had an easy 20-0, but now it's looking extremely grim instead. Now he has a double charge with both his rocks into Torsten, and that I have only done 1 wound in 3 turns of magic. 1 wound, and I have, how much have I paid for the magic phase? I can't. 785 points for Torsten, a bunch of points from the fat one. Yeah, pathetic. Yeah, it's not else I can say. I am more than disappointed. Alright, so yeah, after this it looks like this. We go into Ogre Khan's turn 4, and basically what he does is that he double charges with rocks into Torsten, but he only accomplished 1 of them, so thank God for that. But Roger, I have I have a standing microwave here at home with full voltage, 15 minutes, and it's got your name on it.
And I will rain down on a godly fucking firestorm upon you. You're gonna have to call the fucking United Nations and get a fucking binding resolution to keep me from fucking destroying you. I am talking scorched earth, motherfucker. I will massacre you. I will fuck you up!
Right, so basically what happens now is that we go into his magic phase. He doesn't have much else to do. He rallied, of course, his tribesmen over here. He realigned his bombardiers, failed the charge for the rock. That's it. Then go into the magic phase. He opens up a hand of heaven, does a wound to the fat one. I think he lowered the toughness on my plague monks. Then he shoots them. As you guys can see, this is after the shooting phase. Kills a bunch of plague monks, so I don't have much of them left. Then we go into the combat phase here, and yeah, he goes in, kills a bunch of rats, but I think I actually stick in this combat. Yeah, I do. He kills a bunch of rats. I challenge out his Mammoth Hunter with Torsten. He goes in, does 4 wounds to Torsten. He does actually 4 wounds, and I fail to save all of them. So actually, after this combat here, everything falls, it feels like. It's like the card house is just trembling down in front of me. It's like, what the actual fuck is happening right now? Alright, but anyway, one thing's going for me at least. I'm sticking here, and then we're off to Rats turn 4. Okay, so Rats turn 4, and what we do is that we take, we consider to charge the Plague Sense Bears into the Mammoth Hunter, but we don't do that. We're 13 inches away, so we don't force to charge either. We realign them and puts them over here. Then both my Naptor Throwers and Gut Runners are moving up towards his Tribesman unit here. He says this, but I also charged with the Fat and Friends here into his Tribesman Storm. I'm needing an 8 on 2 dice. Failed to roll that. I roll like a 4 or something pathetic, so just stumbles forward a couple of inches. Then we go into the magic phase, and with all my shooting, Gesales, magic, everything, we actually kills the Rock finally. But to be honest, that Rock should have been dead for 2 turns ago with all that I have thrown against it. So finally, at least, and it was like down to the wire. It was actually the last shot from the last Gesale that killed the Rock. So yeah. Anyway, then we go into the combat phase, and he makes Torsten run away, and Torsten runs off the board. So after this, it's gonna look like this now. There we have it. Alright, and this is turn 5 Ogres. And basically what he does is that he just moves back with his Tribesman here. This is all he has left with the Tribesman. He runs around with the Mammoth Hunter to look at, Fat and Friends. Kites away Fat and Friends with his Bombardiers. And he just realigns his Rock to move over here. That's it. Then we go into his magic and his shooting phase, and he does 2 more wounds to the fat one here. It kills almost the entire Plague Monk unit. I think I have like a couple of rats left and the BSB, that's all. Then we go into turn 5 rats, and turn 5 rats, basically what we do, we opens up with a Napta Thrower here onto his Mammoth Hunter. This Napta Thrower opens up on his Bombardiers, his Tribesman. These Gesales are staying put to shoot at the Rock here. Sorry, not the Rock, but they are staying put. I also charge the Plague Sensibears here into the flank of the Rock, needing a 9 on 2 dice. And guess what, guys? Get it. Hell yeah! Alright, and this picture is after magic and shooting. So basically what we did is killed off the Mammoth Hunter with the Napta Throwers, and then killed a bunch of Tribesmen with the Napta Thrower Gut Runners. That's it. Then we go into the combat phase, turn 5 rats, kills off the Rock. I think it dies from the vapor from the Sensibears. So at least they are doing what they're supposed to do in this game. Then we're off to Ogre's turn 6, and this is the last turn of the game, and basically what it does is that he, in a last attempt, does all that he can to shoot at my Plague Priest, and this unit kills the entire unit with the Bombardiers, and in the magic phase and shooting phase combined with the last shot, last wound, he kills off Fat One. Yeah, he did actually 6 wounds in total to the Fat One, with Bombardiers, Hand of Heavens and such. And also I think he shot in a spear with a Mammoth Hunter. I failed to armor and ward save 5 out of 6, needing 4+4+ on the Bombardiers, 5+4+ on the Hand of Heavens, and I think it's also 5+4+ on the spears. That's like, come on, man. That's so below average that it's just unreal. It's just sickening. The amount of, okay, sure, I was a little bit lucky with the combat here in the middle from his both with him charging the flank with his Tribesman and all that, but it shouldn't even have been a combat from the start if I had accomplished that frenzy check, which I should do. It's like an 80% chance to accomplish it or whatever it is. Rolling 9 on reroll frenzy. Sure, it's frenzy. You can never rely on that, of course not. But it's not that I didn't try to kill off the cats. I knew that it would come, but and also he was putting me back against the wall with killing my Night Runners that early in the game. So I was forced to push. I have to kill his scoring units, so I can't sit back. Anyway, guys, this is basically what happens. Then we go up and kill the rest of his Tribesmen here, and this is where the game ends. What he has left is basically his BSB with like 2 wounds left or something like that, and his Bombardiers and his Shaman. That's it. And I have this left: 2 Napta Throwers, my Plague Sensibears, my Gut Runners, and 1 Gesale left. That's it, guys. And you guys remember what the objective was? It was to kill the scoring units. So let's head over to the result and see how the game ended. Hey guys, here we have the end result. It ends up with a 15-5 to Rat Face Killer, aka Mr. Newman. So congratulations to you filthy ogres. God damn it. Yeah, this one absolutely hurts. Oh yeah, going up with the first game with a loss. Yeah, this sure is a bullet to my pride, if you want to say so. Yeah, it really absolutely sucks. I am extremely disappointed with this. But I am also happy for my opponent, Mr.Newman. It's good that it was him that I lost against. He has had a couple of hard games against me, and the luck hasn't been on his side for a couple of games when we have been playing each other. So I'm happy that it ended up in his favor in this game. Sure, he was a bit unlucky with the big combat in the middle there, and it sure looked like it was a 20-0 to the Rats there. But when that went up so good as it did in the Rats' favor, then I thought for sure that this would be a 20-0. But then you can never rely on that motherfucker Roger. Never rely on a guy that has 3d6 attacks, 3d6 movement, and yeah, alright. I think I rolled a 7 on the number of attacks, so it should actually be at least 2-3 wounds or something like that in that combat, but nah. Fail. I think I only hit like 2 times or such and wounded 0. That's like... but not only that, only if he had stuck in that combat. That was all that I desired, all that I was needing. Because then after I could go in and sweep down with Rat King and he could finish off the Rock. Yeah, okay. Not bitter. Alright, okay, that's a lie. I'm extremely salty. Anyway guys, thank you all for watching this battle report. I certainly hope you enjoyed this. And yeah, feel free to press down the like button if you like the video. Otherwise guys, until we see each other the next time, have a great one everybody, and peace.